Good morning. This is White Raptor News Ministries. All praise and glory to the Supreme Spirit of Truth, the Living One. Blessings to all those that turn from their ways and come back to the Creator, the Supreme Creator. This Bible's really a trip, folks. Okay, there's a lot going on that we're not being taught. And it's important for you to understand that there's going to be a lot of the Supreme Creator's own children that are going to fry in the fire, as the Bible says, 2/3, which happens to be 66.6. I discovered the riddle of 666 many years ago. I can't even say that it was I that discovered. Something moved upon me. A download was taken, and the reality of this construct became quite clear to me. And I've been sharing it with people ever since then. I've been in this truth for almost a decade now. I started on a channel, Raptor News, a Leviticus priest. And I really do miss Rap a lot because, it's just, I think that him and I could have been on the phone with one another and chatting with one another. And, I'm not sure that everything that I teach is accurate. I know that what I teach about 666 is 100% accurate. Nobody can deny the riddle of 666. And I have been given a gift to break this code. So we're going to be jumping into NIV, the chapter 13, 2 Kings chapter 13. Johoahaz, king of Israel, in the 23rd year of Joash, son of Ahaziah, king of Judah, Johoahaz, son of Jehu, became king of Israel in Samaria, and he reigned 17 years. He did evil in the eyes of the Lord by following the sins of Jeroboam, son of Nebat, which he had caused Israel to commit, and he did not turn away from them. So the Lord's anger burned against Israel, and for a long time he kept them under the power of Hazael, king of Aram, and Ben-Hadad, his son. Then Johoahaz sought the Lord's favor, and the Lord listened to him, for he saw how severely the king of Aram was oppressing Israel. The Lord provided a deliverer for Israel, and they escaped from the power of Aram. So the Israelites lived in their own homes as they had before, but they did not turn away from the sins of the house of Jeroboam, which he had caused Israel to commit. They continued in them. Also, the Asherah pole remained standing in Samaria. So Israel seems to build it, they seem to tear it down. They build it, they tear it down. They build it, they tear it down. So the Creator has got to be a pretty patient God, when Israel keeps turning their back on their Lord, the Lord their God, the Lord their God, Yahweh. When I say God for Israel, I say Yahweh. Other Israelites call the Supreme Creator Yah, and then again, yet others tell you that it's Yahweh. And my argument on this is, if 4 families got on the ark, wouldn't have those 4 families that were on the ark all called the Supreme Creator by one name? Not Yah, Yahweh, or Yahweh, but simply one name. And this has always been confusing to me. So the Bible does say that the children of Israel know God and they hear his voice. So I've just myself personally have stopped calling the Supreme Creator by any kind of name at all. Why even take the chance is my position. Now, I'm sure that there are Israelites out there that are far closer to the Supreme Creator than I am, without a question of a doubt. To be honest with you, I don't even know that salvation will find me at the doorstep. But yet I am hopeful. Nothing had been left of the army of Johoahaz except 50 horsemen, 10 chariots, and 10,000 foot soldiers. For the king of Aram had destroyed the rest and made them like the dust at threshing time. As for the other events of the reign of Johoahaz, all he did and his achievements, are they not written in the book of annals of the kings of Israel? Johoahaz rested with his ancestors and was buried in Samaria, and Johoash, his son, succeeded him as king. Johoash, king of Israel. In the 37th year of Joash, king of Judah, Johoash, son of Johoahaz, became king of Israel and Samaria, and he reigned 16 years. He did evil in the eyes of the Lord, and did not turn away from any of the sins of Jeroboam son of Nebat, which he had caused Israel to commit. He continued in them. As for the other events of the reign of Jehoash, all he did and his achievements, including his war against Amaziah, king of Judah, are they not written in the books of the annals of the kings of Israel? Jehoash rested with his ancestors, and Jeroboam succeeded him on the throne. Jehoash was buried in Samaria with the kings of Israel. So real quick, a thought just came on to me that there's a parable in the Bible that says in Revelations that you're not to add to or take from the Holy Bible, the Scripture. Well, anybody who reads the Bible can clearly see that it has been tampered with. So this book of annals here is a book that's outside the Holy Bible. And it is a measurement of the kings, the times, how long that they were all reigned, what they did, all their legends, everything that was done are in these book of annals. Just throwing that out there for you. Buried in Samaria. As for the events of the reign of Jehoash, all he did, his achievements, including the war against Amaziah, king of Judah, are they not written in the book of annals of the king of Israel? Jehoash rested with his ancestors, and Jeroboam succeeded him on the throne. Jehoash was buried in Samaria with the kings of Israel. Now Elijah had been suffering from the illness from which he died. Jehoash, king of Israel, went down to see him and wept over him. My father, he cried, the chariots and horsemen of Israel. Elijah said, get a bow and some arrows, and he did so. Take the bow in your hand, he said to the king of Israel. When he had taken it, Elijah put his hand on the king's hands. Open the east window, he said, and he opened it. Shoot, Elijah said, and he shot. The Lord's arrow of victory, the arrow of victory over Aram, Elijah declared. You will completely destroy the Arameans at Aphek. Then he said, take the arrows, and the king took them. Elijah told him, strike the ground. He struck it 3 times and stopped. The man of God was angry with him and said, you should have struck the ground 5 or 6 times. Then you would have defeated Aram and completely destroyed it. But now you will defeat it only 3 times. Elijah died and was buried. Now Moabite raiders used to enter the country every spring. Once, while Israelites were burying a man, suddenly they saw a band of raiders. So they threw the man's body into Elijah's tomb. When the body touched Elijah's bones, the man came to life and stood up on his feet. Hazael, king of Aram, oppressed Israel throughout the reign of Johoahaz. But the Lord was gracious to them and had compassion and showed concern for them because of his covenant with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. To this day, he has been unwilling to destroy them or banish them from his presence. Well, there's a problem here because right before Noah's Ark, the Lord was talking with Noah, and he was telling him that I'm not going to be with you forever because your days will be 120. Some say that it took 120 years to build the ark. I tell you, that would have been one fascinating feat, to build something that large in 120 years with 4 men preparing everything that was on the ark, having food brought aboard the ark, how the 8 people fed the animals, how the animals would have been domesticated. There's so many different types of stories that are taking place on the ark, that the animals on the ark were all baby animals. They weren't adult animals and stuff. But then you got to consider that if you've been on an ark for a year being fed from the people, then you would have domesticated the animals. They wouldn't have had skills to hunt or any of that. But by nature and by nature itself, the animals, I believe, would have been instinctual and able to hunt after coming off anyways. Anything that's trying to prevent from starving to death is going to do what it has to do to survive. Hazael, king of Aram, oppressed Israel throughout the reign of Johoahaz. But the Lord was gracious to them and had compassion and showed concern for them because of the covenant with Abraham. To this day, he has been unwilling to destroy them, banish them from the presence. Hazael, king of Aram, died, and Ben-Hadad, his son, succeeded him as king. Then Jehoash, son of Johoahaz, recaptured from Ben-Hadad, son of Hazael, the town he had taken in battle from his father Johoahaz. 3 times Jehoash defeated him, and so he recovered the Israelite towns. I hope everybody's having a blessed day. Walk straight and do what's right before the Creator, folks. There is a spirit that creates everything, that makes up the material world, is that of the spiritual world. This plane of existence, as you recognize it, is not our place of home. This is a lower dimension. It's a dimmer light, the light that we live in, this plane of existence, the light that we view, the way we see the sun, the way we see everything, is simply a dimmer light. It's darkness. This world here is complete darkness. That's why in Psalms it's telling you, though I walk through the valley of death, the shadow. Though I walk through the shadow is our skin suits. We cast shadows. Though I walk through the shadow of valley of death, we are in Death Valley. This plane of existence is death. You're born into a world of death. There's just the flesh will die. The spirit is eternal. The soul lives forever. Satan wants you to believe that this is it, that the skin suit is all you have. If Satan can get you to buy in to the flesh suit, and that's all there is, and that your spirit, that you're not a spiritual being and you don't have a soul or any of that, then when you die, it captures you. It keeps you here. You've got to understand that you are something far greater than any of us understand. You are made up of the Supreme Spirit, the Supreme Creator, the Almighty, the all you can see and all you cannot see, the perpetual force that moves all things in place. There is only one, and through that one, all things are ordained. The Supreme Creator is the one that gives power, and He's the one that takes it away. It's that simple. I hope this helps. Much love to all of you. This is White Raptor News Ministries.